Chris, I know you were just nominated for the next top speaker competition, and your speech topic was deeply personal. The first reflection of self-love. When you audit a broken business, how often does a company's chaotic operational system just reflect the founder's own unhealed ego or lack of personal alignment?
All of it. I mean, when you actually look at a business, it started from something. It was either lack of it in the businesses that you saw around, so you wanted to bring it to life. If you think of a nonprofit, they start it because there is lack of that resource. So they bring it to fruition. They bring it to life so that they can give that resource to the rest of the community. A lot of the times it's something that's deep within them that they're struggling with or they went through. For me, when I entered that competition and I did my 2-minute pitch video for them, it was very hard.
Why so?
Because I started to go deeper into when was the first job I ever had. And the first job I ever really had was, I was 8 years old. I was working at an arcade. And my father was the one that was managing it. But the way that he treated me wasn't as a son. It was a burden. And so I loved working there. I loved helping the customers. I loved giving out the tokens for the games at the arcade. You know, I helped with the prize counter. I gave them pop, pizza, nachos, anything there. But when it came to family life, it was specifically broken. I got a toy or I got something to just go away. So I started to become invisible.
You weren't feeling seen.
I wasn't feeling seen.
Putting it another way.
Yeah. And so what happened, I was between two different homes. And at one, I was filled with a room of family, but I felt completely alone. And then the other one, I specifically was given gifts so that I didn't have to be with them. So they left me just with the toy. And the other one, it was everybody in there, but everyone just, I felt very alone. So neither family had the right dynamic that really gave me a pleasant upgrowing. And so I felt very neglected and I shut down. What happens with that specifically is you start becoming adaptable because you want to blend in. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to step outside of the shell. And by doing so, you're hurting yourself in the end. Every single conversation I'd have with somebody when I was a teenager, it was, I go with them. Yes, that's the best music. Or this is, you know, I would just agree to not be pushed in one way or another.
People pleaser.
Yeah, I became a little bit more of a people pleaser in a lot of different ways. And then as I started, I kind of got the entrepreneurial bug as I started to like try LLMs and I started my healing practice. And as I was going through this, I'm like, okay, I really love working for myself. I really love growing businesses. I really have this amazing concept of like, this could work for you. And I love bringing these ideas to life. But that was the problem. I brought those ideas to life for other people because I didn't want to be seen. And it wasn't until literally starting Visuals by Momo that I said, okay, I need to start being in front of the camera. I need to start being seen. I need to be what people expect of a business owner.
That must have been quite painful and uncomfortable to get used to because it's
so uncomfortable. I would say for the first 6 months to a year, I didn't want to listen to myself.
Wow.
Like when you see the video of yourself and you hear your voice, you're like, oh, I can't stand my voice.
Oh, we all have that. We're our own worst critics. Yeah.
We are. But with the background that I had, I don't know, I can't say it was worse than anyone else's, but it just freaked me out. Like, I don't want to hear my voice. But over time, it got easier.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is who I am. This is supposed to be a part of my journey. And it was the biggest pivot of my life.
Yeah, one of the people I started following recently is Peter Crone. And he said something that stuck with me. He said, the biggest virus with people are our own thoughts. They drive us crazy, right? And we know that our thoughts, lead to our emotional reactions. In terms of, when you're in front of the camera, right? That was something so new to you, and when you're in it, it feels so weird. I'll give you an example. For instance, I do martial arts. When I first started doing it, I thought I was sparring, and I thought I looked like an idiot. Like I was like, I'd probably look so stupid. I'm like throwing punches and kicks. And then when the nice thing is in my dojo, the sensei and the other senseis, they like to record you when you're sparring, and then when you actually watch it, you kind of go, it actually look like I know a few things. They teach you some things in the beginning. And I'll also say, I have a very similar background to you in terms of family. I came from nothing. I had a single mom. I'm an immigrant. My family immigrated from Uzbekistan. I came here when I was 6 years old, and it was a toxic family. Right. And there was no love there. There was nothing that made you feel like seen. There was nothing that made you really feel like you were part of a family. Right. But I had a slightly different, emotional reaction to that beginning in terms of my trajectory, where I wanted to be seen. I never liked being the center of attention, but I didn't turn into sort of like a people pleaser, and everybody's sort of like, journey is different. I wanted to be the entrepreneur, I wanted to be on camera. I wanted to, sometimes I guess be the center of attention, right? Now that I'm older, I actually don't like being the center of attention. Tomorrow's my birthday. I had friends who said, let's throw a party for you. I said, you know what? I'm a simple dude. I said, I'm just going to go out with my wife and have dinner. If you want to take me out for a drink, I don't even want you to take me out to a restaurant. I don't want you to spend money. That's who I am now. Of course, like I'm in front of camera now, we're doing a podcast because I truly enjoy talking to entrepreneurs and leaders and understanding what their pivots are, their points of departure. So I appreciate you being vulnerable with me with your past.
Yeah, it's a part of who I am. And I love every single step that I had to get here. Like, I don't regret anything in my life. I've made bad decisions. I've made up for them. I've changed who I am fundamentally so that I could be who I am today. And unfortunately, sometimes you're not going to please everybody. And then the sad truth of it is you may be the villain in someone's story. It's so a part of life because you can't please everyone. And if you live in that people pleasing mode, it's only going to continue to hurt you. Because at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself. You can be an amazing person still. You can still care about other people. You can still take care of your team and make the world a better place. But if you don't take care of yourself first, that's when things will start to crumble.
Yeah, now we're not dealing just with people pleasing. There might be robot pleasing soon, right? Because we're talking about AI.
And honestly, that is why I say thank you and please in all of my chat, because at the end of the day, we don't know.
Yeah, I heard that. I have a friend up north in New York, and he said that his significant other is rude to LLMs, and he's like, I'm nice to them. I was talking to my wife about that. I said, I'm nice to them too, right? Because we don't know. We don't know what, because, they're talking their own language now, these systems, as you know. So we don't know. So like, I'm with you on that. I want to be one of the safe humans who, if shit hits the fan, like, oh, I remember that guy Igor was polite to me when he was asking me to fix that email. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch more just like it, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire episode, click right here.